How do all those toys make it from overseas into your home? We're going to find out right after this. Hi, this is Rebecca Levy with MommyTech TV at CES 2016, and I'm here right now with Ryan Peterson, CEO of Flexport, which is a company no one's ever heard of, but is really important behind the scenes for actually getting toys from the manufacturers, which many times is overseas, as we know, safely into the US and then into the stores and into the hands of consumers, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So how do you guys operate? What is going on behind the scenes?
Well, it's a really interesting space that people often don't think about, right? I mean, you look around, every single thing that you see had to get shipped in your home or even here at CES. And there are people behind the scenes, and that's us, coordinating that, right? Coordinating complexity, making sure there's a trucker on the ground to pick it up in China, clearing it through customs, making sure that it meets the consumer, all the protection, safety laws in the United States, and then getting it cleared through customs into the United States and delivered to where it needs to go. So it's the art of managing complexity.
Yeah, that's a huge chain. I think when people just hear like export, import, it's so nebulous and no one really knows what that means. But with toys, it's really important because almost everything is made overseas.
Yeah, exactly. It's made overseas. Almost everything is made overseas these days. And you don't think about it, but it's how does that happen? How do those goods move across the world? And that's
right.
that's the problem that we're solving. Trying to bring software to bear on the problem and make it more automated, easier, more predictable, and less nebulous, like you call it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about the safety features, what are the? I mean, there's a lot of regulation around toys in particular.
Yeah, there's a lot of regulations. Some of them have to do with protection laws, so child protection, making sure that the child's not going to choke on this product, that it doesn't have lead paint. All of those things go in. And so it's very important that you meet those regulations and do inspections and testing and really auditing your factories. And so we help with all of that process in China, doing testing on the ground. There's other regulations too. Lithium-ion batteries, for example, can start a fire. So making sure that battery's been drop tested, that it won't, that it meets all the specifications. These goods mostly fly on passenger planes.
Right.
So they're actually going in the belly of the plane.
We're seeing that with hoverboards now,
Yeah,
right?
it's a big thing with hoverboards. We actually just did a story about it on our blog about hoverboards and what's going on there. Yeah, it's very interesting.
So are you guys importing hoverboards?
We've imported a bunch of hoverboards. And the key there, hoverboards are just like any other products with a battery.
Right.
The challenge is that hoverbours don't really have a brand. That's what's so interesting about them. There's hundreds of companies selling the same product. And when there's a brand, there's someone to stand behind it and say, hey, these are ours. But the hoverboard is like, well, anything goes, kind of.
Which is kind of crazy, right? I don't think people realize that when they're just seeing this huge influx of them into the market.
Right, yeah.
And some may be tested and some may not.
Right, exactly. And who knows, because it's the brand, it's fly-by-night companies that are selling them.
Right. Is there something consumers can look for to know?
You really want to make sure that there's a UL certificate, so that's going to sort of a certificate of inspection and making sure that it's met certain standards, so UL, Underwriters Laboratories.
So what are you seeing, since you're probably seeing things before they even come out, what are you seeing as the big trends in these sort of connected toys? And
yeah, what's so interesting, what you see is that the smartphone is so ubiquitous now, and a lot of the components in the smartphone are actually the same as what goes into connected toys, and the sensors and different things. And so that's what's led to, because the smartphone is mass manufactured, it's made these sensors really cheap. And so now they can put them in everything. And so we're seeing all kinds there's a whole revolution of new products in the connected home. And we're right at the forefront of that, moving these products and helping companies produce awesome stuff. And that's hard enough. And finding buyers is hard enough. And our job is to make getting it from where it's produced to the buyer simple, so they don't have to think
you get that purchase order, now you really got to fill it.
Yeah, exactly. and you just work so hard to produce it, and really you're going to get stuck at customs, and that's, you don't want to be an expert in that, and that's our job.
Right, that's great. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, cool, it's my pleasure.
Thanks. This was Rebecca Levy with MommyTech TV at CES 2016.